How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Nyanumba Codes. Today we are here, psyched up, ready to tackle something that has never been tackled on this channel before. Now, we've been talking a lot about incorporating AI into our different workflows and every single thing that has been happening in between every single thing that we have been developing for this channel and also for our own various businesses. Now, the Coding a Startup series has taken a turn because I've gone back to the developing of the item that I developed in the first series. And I sat down and thought to myself, now is probably the time I need to dive in to MCP servers. Now, I want to build an MCP server for Force HRM that will enable me to just use AI to prompt every single thing that needs to be prompted. So whether it be that I've collected data in whatever form, whichever way that there is, I can connect my company's Force HRM profile into my Claude API and Claude AI and every single thing that is there, and be able to control everything that's happening in behind the scenes with Claude's AI APIs. To understand MCP servers, you need to first understand the problem that it's actually solving. Before MCP, if you wanted to have an AI model, like maybe say Claude, like ChatGPT, to interact with an external system, you had to write custom integration code every single time. If you want the AI to check your calendar, you have to write a function. You want to read your emails and you want Claude to read your emails, write another function. If you want to create a GitHub issue, you also have to write another function. Every single tool, every single system, every developer built their own way of connecting the AI into the real world. And there was no standard. There was no consistency. There was just no common ground covered. There was complete chaos if you're trying to build something serious. The other problem that was coming about with every single thing that was going on over here is that those AI models were very isolated. If you think about it, they'd sit in their little cocoon, their little box, and everything they knew came from whatever you pumped into the prompt. You had to be the connector between the AI and the real world, essentially. So you had to copy paste your emails in so that you can be able to get a good response, so that you can be able to now take that data and put it where you wanted it to go. You had to copy paste the Jira ticket in. Let's say, for example, if most of you are using Jira, right now we switched to ClickUp, and ClickUp is using AI. So we are generally grateful for ClickUp incorporating AI quicker than most of these other project management tools. And then essentially you feed the data from Jira into the AI, and then you have to take the data and feed it in manually. And that's not an agent, essentially, because now we're in agentic coding. That's not an agent. That is just autocomplete, essentially, on steroids. So essentially, the way I see it, MCP was not built for this. It was built as a certain level of fixing this particular problem. And I'll put it like this, because Anthropic was the first people to come up with MCPs, and it's Anthropic's answer to the question, how do we give AI models a standardized, secure way to connect to any external tool or data source? Some of you might be sitting there and asking yourselves, I only knew how to use ChatGPT and Claude Code. What the hell is this MCP? So what is MCP exactly? So MCP, Model Context Protocol. All right. It's an open standard that defines how AI models communicate with external tools and data sources, essentially, right? So if you think about it, it's more or less like a USB. Let's talk about a USB Type-C. Before USB Type-C, every device had its own charger, right? And its own connector, its own every single thing, its own standard. It was just a mess. I will just put it like that. It was just a mess. And then USB-C came in and said, yo, listen, here's one universal connector. You cannot call this a universal serial bus if every other device has its own USB, right? So this is the true USB. Here is one universal connector, any device, any tool, any cable, the same interface. So right now I can charge my Oppo with an iPhone charger. As long as it's an iPhone 17, of course. But now, like, here's the thing, right? MCP does the same thing for AI. And it says that here's the standard protocol for how an AI model asks for data, gets that data, calls a tool, reads a file, or even takes an action, essentially, right? And in a way that any tool can actually speak up that data, and so that the AI now comes and bundles in the data and truly understands what is supposed to go on over here. So, in essence, if you have MCP tools, you can have one tool talk to another through an MCP that you've already connected. Right now, I have Claude Code, right? Right now, I have Claude AI, sorry, Claude Desktop, right? And a simple way to show you how I connect some of my MCPs, right, that has gotten me to conjure up this idea is I'll come in here and go to connectors, right? And I'll say add a connector. Now, all of us know that Claude cannot generate images, right? So, what do we do instead? We have image generating AI that we can connect to Claude Code that does every single thing for us. For instance, we have Higgsfield. Higgsfield is one of the leading image generators in the world right now, image and video. So you can do that. You can use Claude Code and you can use Higgsfield together with the Claude AI that you've generated. Another tool that I've connected with Claude is Figma. Actually, I've not connected it with this desktop. I have it on another desktop. Figma, you can generate diagrams for Figma to be able to contextualize and conceptualize all the different UI that you want to design for a particular app. And then you can take those designs and actually plot them into your coding interface and what have you. Now, we have Microsoft 365, which is another tool that we could connect over here. But if you look at my other tools over here, like Word, we have plugins for Claude to be able to operate within our, like you can see, this is my Microsoft Word. You have Claude at the very top right over here, and it can interact with our document and it can do whatever it is that we need this document to do. That being said, even Canva, you see now Claude not being able to use image generation, we have Canva set up over here. So it can really work very, very well. So one thing I need you guys to understand also on top of that is that there are three components, the three core components when it comes to using MCP servers, right? So there's connectors, all right? So inside these connectors, there's those three, that's MCP hosts, all right? So I need you to see what happens when we come in here to add a connector, right? So we have custom connectors over here, right? We can go ahead, go to customize, go to connectors, and then we go to add custom connector. So you can see we have the host server over here, which is the application essentially running the AI. So it could be Claude Desktop, it could be Cowork, it could be a custom application. So everything that is there as the host, that is what it is. Like right now, we are running it on Claude Desktop, right? Then we have the MCP servers. So this is the remote server that URL. Like for instance, Higgsfield. Higgsfield was a custom URL that I added over here and just called it Higgsfield. And we are using Higgsfield for image generation, video generation, the whole thing. Okay. And then we have MCP clients. Okay. So essentially, just connecting to the server is not enough. You have to log in. And in order to log in, there's a layer that hosts these particular servers. There's a layer that connects to the host of the servers, the remote server that we are trying to connect to. So it handles the communication, it handles the authentication, and it also handles the back and forth. So when I'm working on Claude and I say, like, for instance, check my calendar for tomorrow morning and send me an email about the meeting. So I'll come in here. Let's say, for instance, I'll say, check my calendar for tomorrow and send an email to my client about our meeting. I'll use Sonnet 4.6 for this. But what I could do is check my calendar for tomorrow. And that's all I'll just do. So I'll come in here, check my calendar for tomorrow. It's going to hit up the tools that is Google Calendar. So I've connected Google Calendar for this. And then you can see you've got one event for tomorrow, Tuesday, 26 May. It's telling me the NC from freelancer to founder, the mindset shift that changed everything. This is a video that I'm supposed to be doing tomorrow. All right. So that is essentially how That is it. So it looks like a new number codes content slot, clear day, otherwise nothing else scheduled. Great. So that's the difference we talk about right now. So that's what MCP does, and it also can enable this AI to put in the data into the server that we are dealing with right there. And that is essentially what I want to do with Force HRM. So that's the difference. MCPs, they turn a model from a text generator into an actual agent that can actually interact with the rest of the world. So why does this essentially matter to you as a developer? Here's my honest take, and here's why this whole situation matters and why you should care about it right now. If you're building products with an AI, an MCP is always going to be the right way to give AI access to your data. You don't have to do hard-coded prompts. You don't have to do custom hacks. You don't have to do all these different stuff that is really not the proper way to work, essentially. You have an extensible standard. You can start learning it now because it's very easy to push forward. You just need to know which tools are the right tools for the right task in every which way. Right now, we also have plugins that Claude themselves have created. For instance, we have, if I can go to my browser over here and open for you Claude AI /design. So essentially, this is another plugin that has been created by Claude. It's Claude Design, and you can use this also like as a reference of what it is that MCP servers can really do. But this is a whole tool on its own that Claude has developed, and it also has its own token usage. So that is not so much it's neither here nor there. It's just an example that I'm giving across. But you can give out a way to start learning it now, MCP servers, because your clients are going to want AI features in their software, and you'll need to know how to build them properly. And the second thing is that if you're using AI in your workflow, essentially, I think MCPs are what separate a toy setup from a real agentic workflow. Because if I have an MCP setup, for instance, for Gmail, calendars, GitHub, for instance, as well, it's not experimental anymore. It's like now this is the way you're going to be working. Like, let me just show you, for instance, right? Let's say, because I've not done GitHub just yet. So let's say we go in and now start managing our connectors and connect to GitHub, right? So I have GitHub here. Right, I've already integrated everything. So now you can see we can connect your GitHub account to give Claude access to your repositories across Claude's products. So you have the chat, which attaches files directly from a repo when asking Claude a question. We have the projects, which synchronizes repository files into a project. So Claude always has your code base as a context. And then you can use these projects to create skills for Claude to go back to refer to whenever you're starting a new project. And I will show you how to go about that. We have Claude Code, right? Which are select repositories. They browse branches, and they also track pull requests in remote sessions. And there's many other more features that are GitHub backed, right? So that is how I actually work even to this very day. And if I was to go to my code base over here for Force HRM, we're going to try as much as we can to work this out. Maybe we'll separate this video and do another video showing you how I'm going to be incorporating this MCP here. The third thing is, and this, by the way, I'll tell you this, it's a developer business angle. The people who understand how to build and configure MCPs for specific industries are definitely going to be very valuable in the industry. Imagine this, right? You're going to sit down and connect a Kenyan hospital's patient system into AI so that it can have all the data and gives you the best decision to carry forward in terms of the checkups, the schedulings, all those different things based off of also the information base that you will give it. Remember, AI is only trained on the data that you're providing it, right? And then also, again, I mean, another example is maybe you connect it to a real estate company's CRM, right? You connect it to a logistics company's freight data, and then it becomes your whole reporting assistant. And, now we have something very big. That's a huge product. If you think about it, that's a huge product. It's a product that's also a service that is also something that most developers right now don't understand in this space. The next video in this series is going to walk you through the specific MCPs that I use on a daily basis. I think that is very important, that I would tell you exactly what I use on a daily basis in terms of the skills, in terms of the MCPs, in terms of all those different things. But the main things that I use: Gmail, Google Calendar, GitHub, I think Higgsfield. I would say Higgsfield is like one of the most used because I've probably depleted all my tokens right now. And yeah, I think after that, we're building a real MCP powered agent from scratch. I think I'll show you that all together all at once. But first, I think, ladies and gentlemen, you needed this foundation. Now you have it. Now you have everything. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just like to say this. If this clicked for you, if the USB Type-C analogy made sense for you, if you saw what was possible according to the demo that I've just shown you right now, well, I think that deserves a subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. I think that deserves a subscribe. So smash the subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen, and turn on notifications if you really clicked with this video, if this video really helped you, because the next few videos are going to be really crucial to your development career, and they're going to go so much deeper into this whole MCP fiasco that we're having right now. There's going to be real MCPs, real configurations. We're going to build custom MCPs, deploy them, and actually connect them to Cloud Code to be able to actually interact with the data that is going on in the background. And then we're going to have a full AI agent on our hands, something that we can just prompt Cloud Code to work with, and we have our data coming through like a flurry. Like it's just going to be very nice. I think there's so many things that we can learn from these videos. So please do indeed subscribe. Please do indeed drop a like, and leave a comment if you feel like there's something that you need to share, there's something that you have as a sentiment, and we will see you guys in the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, that is me signing off. Please do indeed take care, and as always, may God bless you all.